DivaSpeaks Podcast is the premier relationship podcast that explicitly deals with relationship matters from a woman's point of view. No subject is off limits. Relationship challenges, sex, intimacy, dating, infidelity, finances, heartbreak, and situationships are all a part of the discussion. Your relationship matters.
Relationships Talk Show. Welcome to Friday night. That's right, you have just tuned in and stopped by to the hottest relationship conversation piece out of Charlotte, North Carolina. That's right, the Diva is filming from the Queen City. And I want to thank you for stopping by. DivaSpeaks Relationships Talk Show is fairly new to the talk show circuit, but I definitely appreciate you finding out where I'm located and joining me tonight. Yes, I got all cute for you guys. Check this out. I got my matching earrings. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I got my matching earrings. I did my makeup for you guys. I got my lips all glossy and all. Yes, honey, no dry lips over here, right? A diva is never thirsty, nor does she walk around with dry, crusty lips. All right? Yes, so let's get into it. So if you haven't had an opportunity to check me out on social media, make sure that you do so, because you can find Diva Speaks on Facebook. My Facebook handle is facebook.com/@TrueDivaSpeaks, or you can just type in True Diva Speaks and my Facebook page will automatically appear. You can also follow me on Instagram. I need you to jump on my Instagram page because, okay, the congregation has spoken. The Diva is bringing it to you every single day. Some motivation, some relationship encouragement. It's like your daily relationship supplement for whatever you may be going through. Or maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's for that homegirl that may be going through something and you need a little bit something extra to bring to her so that she can push through and get to the other side of whatever she's experiencing. So make sure that you follow me on not Facebook, but Instagram is what I'm talking about now. My Instagram handle is DivaSpeaks, that little _ official. Once again, my Instagram handle is DivaSpeaks, the _ official. Now, for all of you that want a one-stop shop to all things Diva related, honey, I got a website. You already know what time it is. My website address is Diva, the dash symbol, okay? So let's move forward. Diva-Speaks, that's plural, -official.com. Diva-Speaks-official.com. Now, from my website, you can access my Facebook page, my Instagram, my YouTube channel. It's new, it's growing, but it's there for you. And any of my previous shows that have aired on the television station's website, you will find them embedded on my website, so you can catch up and binge on all of the really, really juicy topics that I have talked about thus far. Now, if you ever get to a point where you want to converse with me, I was about to say conversate, converse with me if you have a question or you want me to chime in on a particular situation or circle back to me on a specific subject or topic that you have heard previously aired, make sure that you email me. I am accessible to you via email. My email address is divaspeaksofficial@gmail.com. Once again, my email address is divaspeaksofficial@gmail.com. Oh my God. That is so much. Like, that's the whole show right there, right? No, honey. Stay put. Make sure that you go ahead and grab your favorite beverage or a cocktail because it's Friday night, okay? Because I want you to be able to get into it. I don't want you to get thirsty because I do have my coffee right here. Look at that. Diva has her coffee because I got to stay up. I need to talk to you guys. Now, last but definitely not least, yes, honey, I'm fixing myself on camera. Don't judge me. Judge mama. For all of you that are very new to Diva Speaks Relationships, you know the talk show actually is a direct result from the success of the podcast. So if this is your first time hearing about, oh, Diva, you got a podcast? You're damn right I do. So make sure that you look me up on any platform that you get your podcast from. It is Diva Speaks, Honey, I keep it consistent. Diva Speaks everywhere. So Diva Speaks, that's all one word, relationships. Make sure that you go and search out my podcast and listen to the more than, I think right now I'm teetering between 65 or 68 really juicy but controversial, as well as soulful topics that speak to what you may be going through or have went through, or just for your sheer entertainment. Diva Speaks Relationship Podcast. Make sure that you check in, stop by, follow me. If you can, follow me on Podbean, because once you are a subscriber or follower on my hosting site, which is Podbean, you know what you're gonna do. When I go live on my podcast, you have the ability to interact with me and whatever host I have at the particular time. That's right. You can call in, you can talk, you can sound off, give your opinion, ask a question, or interact with the other listeners that are chiming in on the podcast at that particular moment in time. So make sure you go out, follow, support, subscribe to Diva Speaks on all the relationship platforms that I provide to you, and I will be more than happy and fulfilled. Yes, honey. So what? You got your beverage, you got what? Your glass of wine, you got your bourbon, you got your yak. What you got? Okay, just make sure that you keep the cup filled up, because we're about to get into some things. But if you have followed me over from my podcast, then honey, you are in for a treat. Tonight, for the very first time on Diva Speaks Relationship Talk Show, I have with me tonight, that's right, tonight, honey, I have Miss Ivory Carla joining me tonight via Zoom audio, because she has some other commitments that would not allow her to be here with me tonight on this very comfortable sofa that I have and all my little plush furry pillows. But no, Miss Ivory K is joining us via Zoom audio. Miss Ivory Carla, are you there?
I am. Good evening.
Oh,
Thank you for having me. I am so pleased to be here. I am sorry I couldn't be with you on the couch. It is a beautiful couch. Y'all need to see these pillows. What? But I am so grateful to be able to be here via Zoom. And I look forward to this conversation, Diva. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You know, I love Miss Ivory Caller. So like I said, if you've been listening to me on the podcast, you know, Miss Ivory Caller and I are not only friends, we are also business associates, as well as we have a very powerful connection when it comes to speaking about matters of the heart, and then being able to have a conversation about how that affects you spiritually or your spirituality. So Miss Ivory Caller, oh my God, I'm so happy you're here. How are you tonight?
I am doing well. I am grateful to be in the land of the living, and I am so grateful, Diva, that you would invite me to be on your talk show. It's such an honor.
Next
and I'm
time
so
I
grateful to be here.
Yes,
I look forward to being on that couch and having a conversation with the Diva up front and in person. Yes. But Zoom always works. I still get to see her beautiful face. She wearing that blue, ain't she, y'all? Ain't she wearing that blue?
I got
Look at that necklace.
For the
Look
audience.
at it. Yeah, she did that. So let's get into it.
Wait a minute, you can see me? I thought it was on audio, so you can see me.
I can't see you because I hit the video portion of it. Yes.
See, I feel like an airhead right now.
I can see you. Yes.
So, Miss Ivory Carla, so tonight we are going to be discussing something that is needed and necessary. Okay. So, for those of you who may be going through something right now, tonight is your night. I'm so glad that you decided to tune into this episode, and I do not think it is by accident that you are stopping by, whether you are live streaming the show right now or you caught this particular show, you know, when it went to the video on demand section of the television station's website, or you're listening to it or seeing it on my website. It is not by accident that you're stopping by tonight. So tonight, guys, the topic is, hold on, I wrote it down just like I do on my talk show. Hold on, I wrote it down, honey, because I didn't want to get it wrong, because this is very necessary that I get it right. Tonight's topic is getting over the breakup. Trying to move past the hurt Again, trying to move past the hurt when they have moved on. Did you hear that, Miss Ivory Carla?
I did.
Okay, trying to move past the hurt. Okay? Because they've obviously and expeditiously moved on. How many times, Miss Ivory Carla, have we talked about, we've known of, we've been a witness to or privy to certain issues that went on in certain relationships where one of the people in the relationship moved on as quick as you can blink your eye?
More times than we like to count, unfortunately. More times than we like to count.
And you know, Miss Ivory Carla, there's a saying that social media has, or a question that was posed, however, whatever. It is often said that the person who moves on the fastest is the one that was probably dabbling outside of the relationship to begin with, or was the person who is guilty of not being as invested as the other party. What do you say to that?
I honestly say that it depends on the lenses you're looking through that.
Oh,
sometimes it's
I'm sorry. Can you say that a little bit louder? I'm not sure that came through for the audience.
I would say that it depends on the lenses you're looking through.
Now, how would you say that?
To agree or disagree. See, we'd like to believe that because he or she moved on expeditiously, that he or she was never vested. However, we are in a society with therapists and doctors and psychiatrists and facts and, you know, all kind of forums that let you know some people who move on expeditiously, it's their only way for them to heal. They're more broken than we like to admit.
So would you say that that's possibly a survival tactic or mechanism?
Absolutely. That's the only way they know how to survive. Where the opposite, the partner that didn't walk away, didn't move on, still, you know, in it, trying to fix it and mend it and bring it back together and restore it, their coping mechanism may be I'm going to stay in prayer, meditation, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to, you know, unfortunately for some, maybe it's depression, maybe it's overeating, maybe it's undereating. You know, there's so many different varies of it. But because of the way society presents it, what tends to happen is as we look at that person who's moving on expeditiously, you couldn't have never loved me, because we're emotional and we're hurt at that moment.
That's so true, though. That's true. But you know what? I want to thank you for bringing in an alternate perspective or a rebuttal to what we've been told, that addressing the issue that the person who moves on expeditiously is the one that was never invested. I really thank you for opening up our eyes and maybe speaking to someone's situation who may be going through that right now. Because to be quite frank with you, you know, my friend, have we not as women heard within our own little circles, or when we get together with our girlfriends or kikiing at the beauty salon, we've always heard that the best way to get over a man is to get under a new one.
Come on now.
I mean, so it kind of speaks to what you just were saying about we all have different coping mechanisms, and we each do what's necessary in order to survive and move past the breakup. Oh, wow. See? Y'all weren't ready for this.
Yes.
Y'all wasn't ready for this.
We all see and do things through our lenses.
Okay.
And our lenses are based on our experiences. So my experience doesn't match yours. So you have to be very careful in the midst of a breakup and who you engage with, where you're getting your advice, what you're listening to, because some will tend to project on you what their experiences are. You with your girlfriends and, you know, girl, well, when I went through that, I'm going to tell you what I did. You need to do what I did, because what I did, it worked. But that may not necessarily work for me.
It's not a one size fits all.
Exactly, Diva. Exactly.
You know, that brings me to something we were talking about the other day, not even related to this. Well, kind of, yes, it was. And I think I spoke to you and I was like, doesn't it seem like sometimes, now this is not an absolute, people, this is just my personal opinion, so don't take it, you know, it's not written in stone, but I was saying to Irie the other day, sometimes it would appear when a couple is going through a breakup or a storm, sometimes you can tell by the actions of observing the two, or if you're in the relationship, you can tell by who's doing what, who's doing the praying and who's not. Who's praying for the relationship and who has basically made up in their mind that they're going to give you their ass to kiss, or if they are really just checked out and just want out. Because it seems to me that the person who is doing the praying and consulting God and falling on their face and you know, touching and agreeing and seeking counseling from a pastor or seeking counseling from a therapist, that's the one that you tend to see is the most emotional. And that's the one who seems to be, by observing their efforts, that's the one that seems to be more invested than the other one. Because if two people are praying for the success of a relationship, especially during the turbulent times, it should be evident in how you act. What do you say to that, Miss Carla? I called you by your middle name, baby.
Yes, you did. It's okay. Ivory Carla. Now, y'all know, y'all look for me out there. But Diva, I'll definitely say that I'm gonna say I agree with you. I'm gonna agree with you in the aspect of, you know, that person who is praying and on their face and wanting to restore, they are doing the work. The one that is not doing the work, they have not come to a place of accountability.
Oh, that's deep. I love that. I love that.
And when you don't face accountability and responsibility, you will run, even if it's under another man or on top of another woman. You will run.
You will run.
And you will have someone that you have vested in sitting on the other side, praying that God will deliver you, deliver them, deliver us, so we can reach an end goal. Every relationship is not salvageable. So we don't want the people to believe that they should stay in something that is not good. If you are in a situation and you are being physically abused in any level, in any form, and you need a way out, Diva has given you all her information if that's where you need to start. She is not telling you all that she is a professional life coach of some sort.
No,
but she's bringing to you real life situations that there are things that are fixable. Breakups do hurt. But if you're in a situation that's not healthy and it's getting really heavy and you need help, let somebody know that. So please do not take this conversation that she's sharing with you all and has invited me in to believe that it may be fixable for you. Every situation is different. My story, Diva's story, whoever the audience is, all of you, the stories are different. And if you are on your face on behalf of that relationship, may God bless you. You stay on your face until you see your God break the mold.
Amen. Amen. You know what, while we have ventured down that road of spirituality and talking about God, let's get real about some things. And I think I kind of touched on that earlier when we were talking, same conversation, people. There seems to be a lot of pressure on someone that is experiencing a breakup. There seems to be a lot of pressure, whether it is intentional or unintentional, from your inner circle or people that would know about it, for you to act like something has never happened, or just babbling off scriptures but not providing you with anything practical in helping you to move past the heartbreak that you are experiencing. It's like, I need people to really slow down and stop the unrealistic expectations that they are putting on the broken hearted. Stop it. Allow people to grieve the relationship. It is only human that a person would be sad. It is only human that they would grieve the relationship. But telling a person, whoever that person may be, whether that's the man or the woman, that is taking the heartbreak more serious than the other, or they're taking it kind of hard, as the old folks would say, allow that person to be human. Stop telling people to let it go and move on, because moving on expeditiously doesn't help that person. You can't fix what you're not willing to face, number one, And you cannot heal if you don't hurt. How is that possible? What are we saying to people when we place these unrealistic expectations on their heads, okay, on top of what they're going through? Imagine the person that is so devastated by the heartbreak or the breakup that they're already borderline depression. They're experiencing depression, okay? They may have experienced or experiencing a loss of appetite. They have no appetite for food, for life, for their hobbies. The things that used to bring them joy no longer brings a smile across their lips. And you, with your most holy self, is telling them they need to get over it. Or, you know what, Miss Ivory? I used to hear things like this when I was going through my first marriage, the divorce. That, you know, God took it away from you because it wasn't good for you. Do you really think that helps a person?
No, it doesn't. We don't serve a God that does that. He doesn't take things away from you. He is a jealous God. And anything that you put before him, you may very well get some interruptions because he's trying to get your attention.
Amen.
But he will not punish you. He will open your eyes and always give you freedom of choice.
That's right.
Always.
He's the God of free will. He
Absolutely.
allows you to pick and choose whatever you want to do. Because I've always been taught that's the beauty of the God that you serve. He allows you to make the choice. And it's just so beautiful when you choose him. See, that's the catch. But I want to definitely, Ivy, speak to the person or the persons that are experiencing a heartbreak right now. And you find yourself rehearsing every argument that stands out. You're attempting to beat yourself up. You're questioning what could you have done differently to prevent the breakup. Or you're asking yourself, how the hell did we end up here? Why would they leave me? How could they leave me if they really meant what they said when they said that they love me? Is there anybody out there that can identify with what I'm talking about? And you know what, Miss Ivy, let me tell you something. I've experienced this before in my 40-something years of being on the earth. You know, and this is from a grown people. Check this out. Have you ever been in a relationship? You too, Miss Ivory. Listen to this. Have you ever been in a relationship and things got really, really bad or shitty? I'm just going to say the word shitty. I mean, they were as bad as they could get. But in your mind, you thought that the two of you were picturing the boxing ring together. Because as long as I got you in the ring with me, there's still a fighting chance that this relationship is salvageable. There's still a chance that we can make it work because after all, we are in this thing together. But how many people have found themselves in the ring all alone? They left you there. You turned around from one blow after another. You got dizzy. Your relationship was taking so many hits. You got dizzy, and by the time you was able to regain your focus, you looked around and you're like, where'd they go? You found yourself in the boxing ring of the relationship alone. They didn't give you notice that they checked out. They simply left. And to that, my friend, is the most devastating and traumatizing part of it all. Is to think that your relationship is experiencing turmoil, and in your mind, and from what you could see in the moment, the two of you are fighting to stay together. And then they just leave. They take the gloves off, hang them up, and they walk away. What do you say to that, Miss Ivory? To that analogy as well?
It's a very deep, dark place. is extremely hurtful. From my own personal experiences, unfortunately, it ended in my situation in a divorce. I was fighting, and I thought, as the diva spoke, that we were fighting.
Right.
You know, I just assumed we were both in this boxing ring. When you knock me out, I knock you out. We get back up.
We get back up.
We gonna fight, and you gonna listen. I'm gonna listen. We gonna go back and forth, and then I didn't even know that at that time he stopped fighting, and it was a very, very dark place for me personally. And I'm gonna say it takes time. As Diva spoke on just a few minutes ago, don't put yourself in a position where someone tries to convince you that you need to rush the process of grieving. Grieving is so important. Just like losing a loved one, you grieve. You may grieve and it may never stop, especially when it comes to a parent or, God forbid, a child, in that matter. So you will grieve, and it may be for a lifetime. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't have the hope to move on and love again, but you may grieve that relationship, but that's part of your makeup. That's going to be a part of your experience. That's going to be a part of your perseverance. You are going to be stronger in some areas, and then in other areas, it may trigger you for the rest of your life.
Amen.
Regardless of which direction that takes you in that level of heartbreak, be sure to continue to work on you. When you go through a breakup, you're going to have people that are in that relationship that are selfish. They're going to think about what it is that's best for them. They're not going to think about your needs and what's best for you. At that time, it's time for you to start really searching deep within you, not to figure out what's wrong with you or what you did wrong, but more so to figure out where it is that you need to be growing. And from a spiritual perspective, what is God trying to show you? Where do you want to go from here?
I totally agree. Sometimes, the why haunts us more so than the actual breakup itself, because if you're left with more questions than you have answers, I think that deteriorates you emotionally. I do. I really think that, and that's okay. That's okay. I really think that it leaves you with so many questions that you think that if you have the answers, that is going to make you feel better. And in that moment, I would encourage anyone that is going through that, you're going to have to pray yourself through that particular part of the breakup and ask God to help you let that go. Because sometimes the answers are not readily available. They're not readily available. And that's just something, sometimes we have to relinquish things that we have no control over. You may not be able to find out why certain things happen until later down the road. And if you serve the God that I serve, sometimes the answers don't come right away because God knows you can't handle it. What do you say to that, Miss Ivory?
I agree with you. I agree that the answers don't come right away. We are human. We would prefer.
My cameraman is fidgeting with the camera. We can just leave camera one off. Yeah. But Miss Ivory, what were you saying?
We have situations where people they're hurt and they're wounded and they don't know where to begin to heal. They don't know where it starts. They don't know what it looks like. They don't know what to do. The breakup is so severe for them.
And fresh.
Mm-hmm. And some people, including myself, I've been in a situation where I thought that, and I want you to listen to this intently.
Okay.
I thought that where I got sick, I can also go back and heal.
Oh, you better say that again. You will never get your healing from the person that hurt you or the place.
Absolutely. And you will find yourself going back to that person, desiring them, needing them to be at your door in your presence and tell you it's going to be okay. And they're not okay, so they can't make it okay for you.
This is true.
Because they're not okay. So now you got two sick and broken people.
True.
And I'm depending on your sickness to heal me. And we cannot get sick. We cannot heal, where we got sick. We can't heal there. We have to find another outlet, and hopefully we can find it together, because we were in the boxing ring together.
Right.
And now we are so sick. We need healing together, whatever that may look like for a couple. And today there's so many avenues. You know, we've got therapists of all forms, from sex therapists to child therapy.
Right.
You know, we've got psychiatrists, psychologists, we have marriage groups, we have churches, whatever that looks like for you. Two sick people have to hold hands and decide together. We are the reason why we're here. What are we going to do to get over this and get to the next place?
But you know, speaking to the person that appears to be the most brokenhearted, or who may be taking the breakup extremely hard, and I've been at this place myself too in my 20s. You know, I've been very, you know, transparent about what I went through in my first marriage. You know, it's something beyond hurtful. It's almost insulting when you give a person your all. You put forth so much effort, and in return for giving the relationship your all, or giving your whole heart, the other party gives you their ass to kiss. It's like, how dare you? How dare you? I'm giving you 100% effort. I am petitioning God in prayer about what has disturbed the peace in this relationship, and the best you can do is quit, give up, or give me your ass to kiss. That is a situation, Miss Ivy, where I know that whoever is on that receiving end, that's problematic, and that will leave a person stuck, grieving, and angry. And I have to say to that, my friend, if that's you, I get it. I get it.
I get it.
I get it from one woman to another one. I get it. I've been there. But let me tell you something what the old folk used to say, and even the Bible tells you, honey, you reap what you sow. To the person that has done you dirty, to the person that was deceptive, to the person that was distracted from the relationship because they chose to entertain other people, because they chose to step outside of the relationship for the answers. Oh, honey, it's harvest time always. Those seeds that you plant, they come up. They grow. A lot of people don't have problems with sowing the seeds, because that's the easy part. You throw a couple of seeds down, you know, go on about your business. It's what they look like when they come up that's the problem. So depending on what kind of seeds that you're showing is a manifestation of how you're going to receive it. What type of seeds are you sowing in your relationship behind your partner's back? Doesn't matter what you do in front of them. What seeds are you showing? What faces are you hiding? Because for a person to quit, give up on a relationship without notifying the other party, or without putting forth the proper effort, it's a reflection of where your heart could be or never was. Miss Ivy, what do you say today? Girl, I'm going deep with it tonight.
The Diva's going deep.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah, girl.
Don't say that.
Yes, honey. I might be on audio and video, but deep is deep, okay?
She said what she said.
I said it
okay. But go ahead, Miss Ivory.
It started off with breakups are hard.
Breakups are hard.
They are hard. We can make it sound good. We can put on our makeup and put on our best suit, and we can get out here and we, you know, they say that we have what do they call them? Functional alcoholics.
Right.
Functional drug addicts.
Right.
Oh,
I know where you're going with that.
You have functional heartachers.
People that can function in the midst of a heartbreak
or a storm or a death. You and I have had our own life experiences, you know, in our adulthood, and we've had to push forward. You're raising children, whether it's singly or together or however it's being done, and life doesn't stop. Life doesn't stop because you're going through.
It doesn't.
And that is a very hard place to be. You know, I'll tell y'all a really quick story. I remember being in the midst of that and getting to my garage, and sitting in my car after a day's work and picking kids up from daycare, etc. And I would just cry because I didn't want to go into the house and deal with my reality. The day had served me well because I was busy at work, busy in meetings, busy in the boardroom, busy making sure my children got what they needed. You know, busy paying bills, busy talking to friends and families. Girl, you okay? What you need? What you not thinking about myself? But when I pulled up to that garage, you know what that told me?
You had to be alone with yourself.
I had to deal with myself, and I had to deal with my reality. And it put me in a place where one day I was telling myself I was healed. And then I came to a place where I was ready to date again. And then all the stuff that wasn't healed poured out right into that relationship. Breakups are hard.
Speaking of that, you just made me travel down memory lane. And I know I've talked about this on the podcast. For those of you who are raising small children or who have children in the home, I remember going through my first divorce. I mean, oh Lord.
She ain't on her second one. She ain't on her second one.
I mean, the divorce from my first marriage. I remember, Miss Ivory, how painful it was. It was extremely complicated trying to be a parent in the midst of heartbreak.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, if you want to know how resilient you are as a woman,
be a mother and be going through
trying to be a mother and be present to your children, still parent, still cook for them, still be engaging with your children, still getting them to their functions and their extracurricular activities, engaging with the other parents, still being active and present in the home for your babies, your children, especially if you got teenagers, when your heart has been shattered in 1,000 pieces. Now that, my friend, is a strong woman, and that is what I call resilience. And to any woman that may be going through that right now, I speak to you tonight, and I'm telling you, sis, I don't wish that on you, but I'm telling you, you can do it. Do it at your own pace. You can survive this. You can get through it. But I know what you're going through. I've been there. My children were, I believe, my daughter's was Miss Ivy at the time that I was going through this. 2 and 8. 2 and 8, and that went for about a couple of years. So they were young children, young girls, when I went through this, and I had to be present. I couldn't lock myself in the bedroom when I got off work, home from the office, pull the covers over my head. Everything in my body, Miss Ivy, told me that's what I needed to do so I could heal. But I couldn't risk not being there for my babies and causing them some type of emotional upset because they were witnessing their mom go through something they've never seen before. Do you know how children act out stuff that they see in the home when they get to school? Can we talk about that?
Yes, Diva. Yes. Yes. Those kids are going to go to school and it's going to come out on other children.
That's right.
In the classroom, not having the ability to learn in the full capacity.
That's right.
And they're also going to be viewed as possibly being abused. So be very careful of what you allow your children to see and hear
in the home.
In the home.
And you know, I think one of the most, and it gives me no pleasure to talk about this, and I'll share just a small snippet to protect and preserve my own privacy. I remember my oldest daughter watching me have a meltdown and cry as if someone had literally died in that moment. And she could do nothing but break down herself. You know how traumatizing that is? And to hear my now adult daughter approaching 30 talk about that. What it meant to her to see her mom so broken and to see her mom emotionally devastated, crying, sobbing, snot dripping down my nose into my mouth, couldn't pull it together. And you know, I think people need to be very careful about how you treat other people and you indirectly affect the children. Can we talk about that?
Remember, your children are a vessel of you. They mirror you.
That's right.
And whether you are the heartbreaker or you are heartbroken,
that's right.
Those children are going to reenact that behavior as they grow in their friendships, in their relationships, when they begin to date. We do not want to teach our children, mothers, women, sisters out there, that it's okay that you're considered a good woman because you've tolerated.
Oh, I like that. Because you tolerated.
We don't want to teach our sons, fathers, men, my brothers, that she is a good woman because she tolerated.
That struggle love is what I call it.
Yes, not acceptable for our children at all.
Because you know what? You never know what they're seeing with their eyes, what they're witnessing you go through. You never know, number one, how children internalize that or how they interpret that, how that sticks with them. Because your version of the story more than likely won't be the same as theirs.
Absolutely.
How they recant or recall that particular moment as they get older, or that may be a trigger for them, how it emotionally devastates them, it's going to be totally different. Don't end up traumatizing your children behind your breakup. And I just needed to say that during the course of this talk show for those who may be, again, going through a divorce, going through a breakup, whether it has left you a single parent on either side, male or female. Let's be very, very cautious moving forward with what you allow your children to see in this season of heartbreak. Oh my God, yes. And let me tell you something else. While you are healing, don't you let or allow anyone place unrealistic expectations on your head to move past this situation quickly. Those are the same people who really can't give you any practical steps on how to move past it and get through it. And those are the kind of people that I resent. I do. Stop telling people that they need to get over it. Because 9 times out of 10, people like that have a trail of broken and dysfunctional relationships because they didn't do the work. They didn't do the work that was necessary to heal from what was broken from previous relationships. They just rubbed that baggage into their next relationship. So the next man or woman had to deal with it. And then they got tired of it. Constantly leaving behind a trail of chaos, drama, broken relationships, confusion, and sickness. How sick does your soul have to be to never stop and heal? To never stop and address what has been broken, or to figure out, how did you get here? What part did you play in this? What did you do? What could you have done? Not to save the relationship, but to have been your best, present, healthiest, whole self in each and every relationship. Miss Ivory, is there something that you would like to say? Oh my God.
Oh, Diva.
I know,
Diva.
I say this.
It's heavy.
It is heavy. It's heavy.
I go back to just the concept of this great show that you're doing on this evening.
Thank you.
And I state breakups are hard. And all that the Diva has spoken, do you realize that, or have you guys realized and listened intently to, it doesn't just affect you.
It doesn't just affect you.
It affects everything that you're attached to.
Miss Ivory, I'm sorry, can you turn the volume up your
course,
okay.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, people. I get so passionate and I get low, and I forget that y'all not here. You know, I'm thinking y'all in the room with us because I feel the love. So I'm sorry about that.
I
feel
was
like
here, boo,
y'all was
right
in
here.
the room and in the studio, and I want to be, in the midst. So I apologize for that. It affects everything that you're attached to, everything that you do, your day-to-day activity, like everything. And there's no, we look for in breakups an easy way out. We want to get through it and get over it. And we want to feel good. That makes sense.
Oh, you want to feel good again.
But
yes.
You've got to, that old saying, you've got to be in it, get dirty with it, roll your sleeves up, get ready, get raunchy with it. You've got to go through it to get to the other side. And I know personally for me, I don't like pain. I don't like it on the operating table in the doctor's office, and I don't like it in my love life. I don't like it in my family life. I don't like it when it's in my parenting life. If I had to spank my child, it was heartbreaking. We just don't like it. As humans, we just don't like it. It's not a comfortable place. Anything that's going to cause you to feel conflicted and your heart feels like it's twisting and it's turning. And I'm like, what is this organ that God gave us that has so much power to feel so many different ways?
It's the heart.
And that's heavy. That is so heavy.
Miss Ivory, speaking to what you were talking about, nobody wants to be in pain. I think that's one of the things people have a problem with is before the actual breakup, you probably were already in an existence with intensified state of pain. Okay? Yeah. Because things weren't going right to begin with. So for everything to collapse and come to an end, instead of it getting better, the bottom just fell out. Nobody wants to, it's like, damn, I just went from pain operating on a level 5 to that just shot up to a level 10. So now, not only did I have the pain of the relationship falling apart, now I'm left with the pain of the breakup. And it seems to be an extended season of emotional torture. It is to those individuals that I dedicate this. Yeah, it is. It is a season of emotional torture because things just went from bad to worse. It went from the possibility of us working things out, restoring the relationship, and having a bright future together to that person is no longer a part of your life. That person is no longer in your life. That person is no longer in your home. They simply walked out. They simply threw their hands up. They waved the white flag. They was like, deuces. Sometimes you were notified, but the cowards just left. How broken does that leave you? And let me talk about the other thing too, because we're wrapping it up and we wind it down. I want to speak to the people who have been done dirty. You were did dirty. Wait a minute. They did you wrong. Okay? They were deceiving you. And now all of a sudden, they got the nerve to want to be pissed at you. What are you mad about? Because they found out? Are you mad because, let me turn the tables, Ms. Ivory. Are you mad because they found out 1 or 2, they knew they deserved better, or 3, they decided that you wasn't worth the bullshit you was putting them through? What you mad about? You done me dirty, but you got the attitude, the unmitigated gall of you.
Diva, that takes us into another conversation.
Let's go there. Come on.
You may have to bring the people on another night, but we will say, because I know the Diva's wrapping up and, she's got a cameraman and they putting up signals and telling us, like, look here, ladies. So I am going to quickly say that goes into the subject of, I hurt you. I'm not going to be accountable. I'm going to gaslight you. Diva may not have a lot of time to go into what that means. And if she does, she will. But people will gaslight you. I'm going to be mad. because I'm gonna act a fool, because I'm not gonna let you walk away from me heartbroken. I'm gonna let you walk away confused and heartbroken.
Whoa.
I'm gonna make you think that it was you. And how many of us have gone home and laid down and cried out, what could I have done differently? You have just been gaslighted.
It haunts you.
Yes.
It haunts you. And then what is also so confusing to, the person with even half a brain is, how the hell did you just shit on me and the relationship, but you got the nerve to be mad at me? And this level of nastiness that you are now operating on, it confuses the other party, because now they're wondering, well, did you ever love me? Did you ever love me? And at the moment that you decided or you acknowledged that the love was no longer there, were you ever going to tell me? Did you really have to take this route to get out of the relationship instead of having an adult conversation and saying, hey, look, this isn't working. I'm just going to excuse myself from the relationship. And I know for some people that may be a little bit too much to ask, but that also speaks to your man or womanhood.
That's good.
It does.
That's good.
It does. Because I think at some point you decided that you were just going to be low down to that other person. You're not going to be accountable for what you've done. You're not going to be accountable for the things that you have said to the other person, are saying to the other person, and the snake-like behavior that you have operated on. You chose not to end the relationship in peace. You chose not to give the other person closure. You chose violence, as they say on the internet. You chose violence in the relationship. And I'm not talking about physical violence. I'm talking about emotional violence. You set out to hurt that person intentionally when you act recklessly when dealing with their heart. You don't give a damn about how what you're doing affects the other person. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something for all of you who are dogging out the person that you used to be in a relationship with. Your day is coming, my friend. Those seeds that you plant they will grow. And you may not like what you get back in return. You may not look as smug as you do now when you start reaping what you sow. And for those of you, let me tell you something as we end the show on this note. For those of you who are having trouble sleeping at night, to my brothers and my sisters, you're finding it hard to get up and go to work. You don't have any zest for life anymore. You feel like maybe at times in a weak moment that God has failed you or forgotten about you. For those of you who can only live minute to minute because any little thing triggers you emotionally, let me tell you something. I have good news for you. Joy comes in the morning. You won't always be where you are. No, you won't. And let me leave you with this. To the people or the persons that have experienced the breakup, you've done a lot of crying. You've lost some weight behind it. You're having some anxiety issues. Maybe depression has set in, or you've been fighting depression. Maybe it has affected your performance at work, or your parenting, or your praise. Let me tell you something, and I need you to listen to me as I wrap up. There are some people who will come back into your life, or attempt to come back. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I want you to remember one thing. Remember how they left. Okay? Remember how they left and how they left you. Not only location-wise, but traumatized emotionally and mentally. Remember how they left you. And let's take it a step further. Remember why they left you, or who they left you for. I want you to remember that when they try to slither their way back into your life. Unless there has been a total reform in which God has to be in it. I don't care if I offend anyone who is an atheist that may be invested into my show. This part of the show may not be for you. Just stick around. Honey, beware of the person that comes back to rekindle a relationship when they have not been reformed. Because in order for that to take place, restoration takes a little bit of time. There are steps in that process. Just like healing takes a little bit of time. You aren't healed from something that caused you so much pain and trauma overnight. Even your body doesn't work like that. If you break a bone in your body, it takes anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks for that bone to heal. Honey, your heart is one of the most powerful muscles in your body. That man or woman that broke your heart, do you really think that you're going to move expeditiously past that heartbreak? It takes time. Even if you burn down your house tonight, you couldn't build it back in an hour. It takes time to rebuild anything. You beware. And you be smart. Now, I hope tonight's discussion will help, motivate, or encourage anyone who may be in the midst of that storm right now. I sit here actually. I sit here wanting to be a vessel of encouragement for you. I want to thank my co-host, my very special guest, my friend, Miss Ivory Carla, who joined us tonight via Zoom. I know that you had some other prior commitments that would not allow you to be in the actual physical location that I am right now, but I thank you for your input. I thank you for speaking your piece, and thank you for stopping by, Miss Ivory.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
it was an honor.
We love you. We love having you. The audience has spoken. They all love you too, don't you guys? You say anything different and I'm gonna slap it. So guys, don't forget, if you have missed any of the previous episodes of DivaSpeaks Relationships, you can find the older episodes in the video on demand section on the TV station's website, which is tvaccess21.com. You go to the video on demand section. You simply type in the name of my show, which is DivaSpeaks, and any of the shows up to 6 to 8 weeks will be on the station's website. If you don't find my shows there, make sure you go to my website address, which is diva-speaks-official.com. Meet me here every second and fourth Friday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, every second and fourth Friday of the month. Meet me right back here tonight of all nights, which is a Friday night. You and I can get into it. I welcome you into my home and we have the conversation. But don't forget to invite a friend, a coworker, a colleague, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband. Tune in to the Diva as we chop it up and talk about more things that involves and affects relationships. Until the very next time, the Diva has spoken.